Welcome to the Midwest. My name is Jesse, and today I'm going to cover how to do the shelf pose, also known as the Peacock pose. Some people refer to it as Mayurasana, and basically it is the pose that you have seen Wim Hof do a million times. It's a kind of a complicated pose, and there's a lot going on. It has a lot to do with balance, and it's a very challenging pose that I would recommend anybody try. One of the questions that I often get is why is it that people want to try this pose at all? And the answer to me, at least for me, it's something that seemed at one time to be impossible. Here's a picture of early on in my career of being a Wim Hof Method instructor. Actually, this is before I was actually done with my instructor academy. I was in the first class of Wim Hof Method instructors in the United States, and it doesn't look good. Later on though, I got it, and when I got it, I couldn't believe it. I was just so happy, and I thought to myself, if I can do this, what else am I capable of? I once thought this to be impossible, and it's very likely that you think it's impossible too. And I'm going to give you some basic tips. I'm not going to show you everything because I don't want to take that from you, but I am going to give you some basic tips that should get you well on your way to getting this pose. The first and foremost, one of the most important things I would say is to make sure to warm up. This is kind of a sloppy way to get warmed up, but make sure to warm up before you start to try mastering this pose. Early on, when you master this pose, you're doing a lot of flexing and stretching that oftentimes people aren't used to doing. So thoracic openers are really important. A thoracic opener would be where you get down like this, and you would bring one arm up and all the way in, and up and all the way in. And then you go to the other side, back and forth. And you would do that maybe 20 times per arm. Again, opening up this thoracic spine. And of course, if you have injuries to your shoulders, be really careful before you try this. Do a lot of warming up, because there's no reason to try something and just because you didn't take the time to warm up, you had an injury. So be careful with that regards. I'm going to show you two of the biggest tips that will most likely help you master this pose. Most of the time we see this pose from the side, and that's because it's really impressive from the side, but it doesn't help us in learning the pose to some degree just to look at how someone does it from the side. So I'm going to show you from the front, and because the most, I would say the most important secret to this pose is your base. So I highly recommend finding a bench like this one, something that's not too high, something that's not too low, something that is very easy for you to just use. And if you fall down, if you face plant, it's not like you're falling off of a bridge or something like that. So don't try this in a dangerous place. A nice, safe bridge. No, that's not true. Nice, safe bench. So one of the mistakes most people do is they will have their base be really close. They'll put their hands close together. And when you do this, the natural way that your body works is whenever you put your weight on here, on your elbows, the natural way your body works is the elbows are going to come out because of just this simple matter of the way your physiology works. You're naturally going to push those elbows out. And so that's not going to go anywhere. So what happens is a lot of people try to muscle it, and that doesn't help. Early on, when you're first mastering this pose, have a nice wide base and let those elbows come in. You're going to allow yourself to use gravity and the way your body naturally works if you have a nice wide base. So you have a nice wide base, and then you're going to want to put your elbows into the blades of your hips. So just naturally find those blades, and then you've got it. Ha! Not really. There's some more to it, right? And a lot of people have gotten to this point and they still can't get it. So the second big tip is that you're going to want to work on your core mobility and your core strength. If you've heard of Supermans, that's a very common core exercise that you do, especially for your back. So find that exercise if you don't know what I'm talking about. I may make a video on how to do Supermans later on, but just for now, do some Supermans to get that, especially those tiny little back muscles, all that core work. You need to make sure your core is strong so you can keep a nice flat body. The other thing, so those two are important beyond any compare. Those are the two most important things I can tell you about this pose. But I'm going to tell you a third thing, just because I'm nice, right? I tell people to go out and be nice to people. I'm going to be nice to you. So this third thing I'm going to show you. Let's see. It's kind of a windy day today, so I'm going to hope against hope that this doesn't blow down. Uh-oh. Let's hear. Try it this way. I want you to notice the hinge in my arm, okay? A lot of times we want to keep the hinge up like this, but you actually need to lower those arms, lengthen the arms so you got a nice flat back, okay? So again, nice wide base. We're going to go into the hips and just watch what I do with my arms. Did you see that? What I'm doing is I'm starting up here, but I'm letting it come out. I'm letting it come down, and by doing that, I'm lowering the fulcrum. I'm changing the leverage point, and so that way I can keep a nice flat back. What you see a lot of times is that people will have a really high, their legs will be up really high, and that's not the point of this particular pose. When we do that, we call it your tail is sticking up a little too far, and so you don't want that. You want a nice flat body, 100% flat. And so those are 3 tips for getting this particular pose. It's a little windy today, so maybe I shouldn't have done it on a windy day, but today it's a beautiful day too, so I kind of had to. I had to make a video on a beautiful day. So thanks so much for watching. Hey, put your picture below of you nailing this pose. I would love to see that. I'm not going to cover how to do it on the ground today because I want you to find that out for yourself. I want you to discover it. I don't want to rob you of every part of learning this pose because it is a beautiful thing to overcome this on your own. I might do a future video on it in the future, but right now I'm just giving you this little bit of a head start, this little bit of a lead over where I was, and I think this will hopefully just be the nudge that you need to get you started. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to go out there and be nice to people. Oh yeah.